I'm about to let you in on a secret. There's a war happening right now, but you won't see it on the news. The battlefield? It's your bank account. See, China has this financial weapon, and it's aimed right at the heart of the US economy. And they might just be about to pull the trigger. We're not talking tanks and jets here. This is a war fought with numbers. And if the US loses, well, the dollars in your wallet could be in for a very rough time. This is it, the final showdown for the world's money.
Think about American power. It's pretty obvious, right? It's those giant floating cities of steel we call aircraft carriers. But China's ultimate weapon? It's invisible. For decades, they've been quietly building an economic nuke. It's like a single button they could press to unleash absolute chaos on the US economy. And the craziest part, they did it all without most people even noticing.
And here it is. This is the superweapon. It's not a missile, it's a leash. $800 billion of America's own debt. Let that sink in for a second. The United States willingly handed its biggest rival a kill switch for its own economy.
So, what happens if they actually do it? What if Beijing just decides to flip that switch and dump all of it on the market? Does the stock market just implode? Do your retirement savings get wiped out overnight? That's not a billion-dollar question, folks. It's a trillion-dollar question. And the answer is going to decide the next 100 years of world power.
You can forget all the spreadsheets and the boring economic theory for a minute. This whole global conflict, it really just boils down to one thing: the most insane, high-stakes game of chicken ever played. You've got two nuclear-armed superpowers both flooring the gas pedal, driving straight at each other. The first one to swerve, they lose control of the world's money.
You know, someone online, a Reddit user, called this a geopolitical tic-tac-toe match, and honestly, they hit the nail on the head. It's one of those games where the only winning move is not to play, because if China makes the wrong move, their economy craters too. If the US swerves, they lose their top spot. This isn't just a game, it's what you'd call mutually assured financial destruction. One wrong turn, and everybody goes right off the cliff together.
Okay, so there's just one tiny little problem with this whole game of chicken. America is driving a car that is, well, already on fire. See, China's weapon only works because the US has this secret self-inflicted wound that's just getting bigger and bigger every single second. I want you to just look at that number. Don't even try to say it out loud, just look at it. $37.8 trillion. That isn't a budget, that's a black hole. It's a number so outrageously big your brain can't really even process it. That is America's debt. And it's the gasoline that's been poured all over that car that's already on fire.
And this isn't just some abstract number on a government website. This is the bill for the biggest credit card bender in all of human history. The country owes more than it makes in an entire year. And forget about paying down the main balance. The US has to shell out over $1 trillion a year just in interest payments. That's like paying the entire GDP of Australia just to keep the debt collectors away for another 12 months. It is completely and utterly insane.
And just when you think it cannot possibly get any crazier, it does. Because you see, China isn't fighting this war alone. Oh no, they've assembled a crew, kind of like an anti-dollar Avengers, and they call themselves BRICS. And they have one simple mission: tear down the dollar's empire, brick by brick. This isn't a trade dispute anymore. This is a full-blown rebellion.
Now, their master plan has this really boring, technical-sounding name: De-dollarization. I know, it sounds like something that would put you to sleep in economics class, but trust me, it's not. It's a global prison break. For the last 80 years, the entire world has been locked into a financial system run by the US dollar. And now all these countries are grabbing shovels, digging tunnels, and planning a great escape. And hey, if you don't believe me, look at this chart. The escape is already happening. This isn't a what if, it's a math problem. For 20 straight years, the dollar's control over the world's money has been bleeding out. It's gone from over 70% all the way down to under 58%. This isn't a small leak. This is a gaping hole in the side of the Titanic. So how do you kill a king? Well, the BRICS nations literally wrote down the playbook. Step 1 is pretty simple. Just stop using the dollar. Start trading with each other in your own money. Step 2, link your banks together directly, completely cutting out the US as the middleman. But step 3? Oh, step 3 is the killer blow. Build a whole new financial internet, a payment system the US can't touch, can't sanction, and can't control.
But right when it looks like it's game over for the dollar, America plays its trump card, its ultimate secret weapon, a literal, real-life, infinite money glitch. It's called the Federal Reserve, and it has a power that no other country on planet Earth has.
This right here is the ultimate Uno reverse card. If China even tries to dump all that debt, the Fed just turns on the printers and goes, brrr. They can literally print enough new dollars out of thin air to buy every single bond back. It's financial magic, problem solved. Except for that one tiny little side effect. You know, the one where printing trillions of dollars makes the money in your pocket worth less than the paper it's printed on? They call it inflation. I call it financial chaos.
So this is it, the final round. In this corner, weighing in at a staggering $37 trillion of debt, we have Team Dollar doomed. They're pointing at the BRICS rebellion. They're screaming that the end is nigh. And in this corner, backed by an infinite money printer, we have Team Dollar dominant. They say the Fed is unbeatable and that China would never dare pull the trigger because it would blow up their own house, too. So, who's right?
Okay, so we've seen the weapon, we've seen the vulnerability, we've seen the rebellion, and we've seen the crazy counterattack. So what's the verdict? Is the dollar really about to go out in a blaze of glory? Or is all this just hype?
You know what the truly crazy part is? Everybody is right. The debt bomb is real. The BRICS rebellion is absolutely happening. And the Fed's money printer is an unstoppable force. It's like watching a lit stick of dynamite balance perfectly on the edge of a razor blade. It shouldn't be possible, but here we are. It's this perfect, terrifying, fragile balance.
You know, this whole time, maybe we've been asking the wrong question. This probably isn't going to be some Hollywood movie with a big explosion at the end. The real threat isn't a sudden crash. It's a slow, quiet fade to black. The real question isn't if China will crash the dollar, but what happens when the rest of the world simply stops using it? What happens when America's infinite money glitch finally stops working? That's the world we're walking into. And for the first time in 80 years, absolutely no one knows what's waiting on the other side.